Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. Today's Content Inc. podcast is sponsored by my friends at ConvertKit. ConvertKit is the creator marketing platform made for creators by creators with powerful tools to help you learn about, connect with, and sell to your audience. Find out why this is the number one platform for creators like you and us at The Tilt. Visit ConvertKit.com. Thanks to ConvertKit for supporting all we're doing at The Tilt. You know, it doesn't matter what industry entrepreneurs are in, what country they live in, or how many people are involved in the business. One thing is for sure, they almost always lack an exit strategy. Now, maybe you think you don't need one. Perhaps you want to leave the business to your kids when you pass, or you want your business partner to take over at some point, and maybe you dream of selling big someday. Whatever is in your head, we need to get that plan on paper and start the strategy immediately. Now, when do you begin the exit strategy? When you start the business. So most likely, if you're listening to this, we need to get one in order quickly. When I left my executive media position to start what became the Content Marketing Institute, I had dreams of selling for millions like a lot of other entrepreneurs. But at first, I did nothing about it. I thought about how amazing it would be, but I didn't plan for it. Now, about a year after starting the business, I wrote down this statement. My wife and I sell the company in 2015 for more than $15 million. I wrote this in 2008. That year, the business generated about $60,000 in total revenue and took a $50,000 loss. The business was worthless. In context, the statement was laughable. Now, as crazy as it was, this was the statement I read to myself twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed each evening. Every so often, I tweaked the overall strategy for the business to help deliver on that goal. Now, my wife and I made thousands of decisions over the next several years in order to make that statement a reality. And there was a reason we chose that particular year, 2015, and the total amount, $15 million. First, by 2015, my children would be 14 and 12. My hope was to sell the business in order to spend more time with them before they left for college or their next journey. And second, my wife and I did several analyses and believed we needed $10 million to do all the things we wanted to do in the future for our kids, our charity, and our style of living. We conferred with our accountant and attorney, did the math, and realized that we need to sell for $15 million before taxes to take home $10 million, considering employee gifts as well as federal and state taxes. So you have to set the goal, but all I'm going to talk about for the rest of this podcast is get you thinking about who you could possibly sell to. So by 2010, over that period and into the next few months, I began to list the types of companies that could possibly buy us in the future. I only listed strategic buyers, not financial buyers, since my goal was not to stay with the business too long after the sale. I added pure media companies, event companies, education and training companies, consulting companies, and even a few of our sponsors to the list. And after compiling what I believed was an all-encompassing list, I narrowed that down to my top 5. Now, how did I do this? I looked at those companies that I believed, 1, would keep the mission of CMI strong and alive, and 2, had the funds to purchase us at or over our asking price. So what you do is once you get your top 5, you fill in the gaps, and a spreadsheet works just fine. You put in the parent company, you put in the acquiring brand. Does that parent company have a sub-brand or brand extension? For example, if it's Alphabet Google, as the parent company, is the purchaser Nest, a sub-brand of Alphabet? 3 is, what's your rationale? Why would each of these companies want to buy you? Does your business fill a content gap for the buyer? Do you have access to an audience it desperately needs? Have you developed a product that would complete their portfolio? And the 4th one is the key contact. Who's that decision maker? Who are the gatekeepers to get to the decision maker? Is this one person's decision, or are there multiple team members? If multiple, go ahead and list them. So you have to put this detail in. It takes some time, and we want to concentrate on that list. And then what you do over the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, is you try to meet those people. You send stuff to them online. You send them helpful tips. You go to events that they're going to be at. If they're going to be at those events, you get 5-minute coffee meetings. And what I did was I set those things up over the next 2 to 3 years. So then we went out to sale in 2015. I knew all those people. And I just said, hey, Sue. Hey, Bob. Hey, Jim. CMI is getting ready to sell. Are you interested in buying? So for right now, all I want you to do is get an exit plan, some kind of a goal ready to go, put it on paper. And then once you put that on paper, complete that detail. Who's that parent company acquiring brand? What's the rationale? Who's the key contact? And then over the next couple of years, you can work that list. It does take time, and this is not the easiest process in the world, but if you start thinking about your exit strategy now, in a couple of years, you are going to be thanking yourself that you did that amount of work. Good luck. Hey, before we go, have you ever wanted to create your own book? It was one of the most important decisions I've ever made, actually writing and publishing my first book. That was back in 2008. And if you want to learn how to do so in 30 minutes, go to education.thetilt.com. That's education.thetilt.com, or go to thetilt.com, click on education. We've got a 30-minute mini course specifically on how you can create and publish your own book using that amazing IP you already have as a content entrepreneur. Thanks.